Welcome to the orientation session for the Galactic Mayan Weather Academy, Course 1, Foundational Understanding. So just a general overview of the lesson objectives we want to accomplish through this course. The first lesson, which you should have watched by now, it was generally just a welcome and what to expect from the course, who am I, and getting to know each other. Lesson 2 that you're embarking on now is about working out your galactic signature. So it's a slightly tricky little process if you've never done this before, because we're changing the way we're seeing things, but hopefully we can guide through that without too much trouble. And once you've worked out lesson 2, you'll have all the information you need to really enjoy the following lessons. Lesson 3 will be all about understanding the solar seals. So the solar seals are the tribal archetypes and energies that you see in the glyphs, the little colored picture with the different characters. So there's 20 different solar seals, and lesson 3 is going to take you on a juicy little adventure in getting a taste for the frequencies of each of them. And this will give you all the material you need to go into a deep contemplation of your own solar seal that reflects your archetype of who you're here to be. Lesson 4, we will then dive into the 13 tones of creation. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of the course because it really breaks down the function and flow of energy as it moves through each day. Lesson 5, we go into, it's called Weaving Your Hero's Journey. So lesson 5 will be all about understanding how you can use your new understanding of the 20 solar seals, along with your understanding of the 13 tones of creation, and apply them to your own personal galactic Mayan signature in order to create a kind of story, a fairy tale for what is your personal hero's journey in this lifetime. You know, what is your archetype and the way that you are designed to best contribute towards your surroundings and your environment and you know, the adventure that you're here to have. So lesson 6, it's about tracking the day-to-day galactic signatures and how to go about doing it. So that means you can start adapting the information you've just learned in being able to essentially, just like I do on the Galactic Mayan Weather Report, you know, begin to be your own weather reporter and understand how not only do these galactic signatures encode people and help us understand our personal dynamics, but that every day carries its own character, its own personal identity in a sense, and function and purpose. And so lesson 6 will be looking at how you can track that and use the information you've just gathered to help support your understanding. Now, lesson 7 is basically what next, what you can do with this and where you can go next if you would like to deepen your knowledge. So let's just have a little brief look at what is a galactic Mayan signature. So the galactic Mayan signature is the key to your hero's journey. Jose Arguelles and Stephanie South, you know, they would say that your galactic Mayan signature is your key to your fifth dimensional holon. You know, it's the window, the veil you can look through. It can help you change your perspective to be able to understand the whole of who you are. Not just the 3D physical body, but it's more about accessing your full fifth dimensional self. That means how are you designed to interact with space and time to travel through this human experience as a divine spiritual being. So when we come to understand our galactic signature, it's not so much that this work is supposed to tell you who you are, but rather these archetypes are here to be worked with because they help us discover for ourselves. And I've been doing this work for maybe, I must be getting close to 7, 8, 9 years. And when I first began, you know, I had very little information to work with. I had a beautiful teacher who was really guiding me along and always so grateful. But what I found was the information was not so easy to access sometimes, and it was so distorted in many different ways. And I really found that Jose Arguelles had this, you know, he really presented the work in a way that meant that you had to do the work. No one else could tell you who you were and what it meant. And I was frustrated at first by this lack of information around what these different archetypes meant. But I discovered the wisdom as I went on to realize that when people tell us our astrological kind of makeup or any of these kinds of things, it can very quickly become a cage within our minds that once it becomes a new prison that says, well, that's how I am, or, well, I can't do it because I'm just a storm, or, we can get stuck in these places. So remember to work lightly with this and use these archetypes as the clues, the breadcrumbs on your hero's journey to finding your way back home to yourself. But don't let them tell you who you are, and don't let anyone ever tell you who you are or restrict you from really exploring and stretching and finding it out for yourself. So to give you an example of how these galactic signatures can work and how they can be translated, this is my galactic signature. So I'm a blue self-existing storm. The blue storm relates to the blue picture that's in the middle and the little storm cloud here. The 4 black dots on the top represents the self-existing tone. So don't worry too much about the details. We'll break all this down as we go forwards. The wave spell, which is the 13-day period that my galactic birthday falls in, is the wave spell of the Yellow Warrior. So one way of thinking of this is that your galactic signature is your archetype of, what you're here to embody and bring into the world. And the wave spell is like the purpose in which you're of service to. So if I was to spin this into a little paragraph of, say, what is my role as a blue self-existing storm? One way I could say it is to define and catalyze the stagnant energy blocking the warrior from fearlessly walking the hero's journey, releasing the power of self-generation to provide the endless energy to question with intelligence. And so this is a statement that has come to me that I was able to create due to my exploration of what a blue storm, seeing the self-existing tone in many different forms, seeing the blue storm in all its different forms, and experiencing the Yellow Warrior wave spell, not just through my own life, but through when the wave spell came and I actually was tracking the days. And I'll start seeing the similarities between the day's energy, my energy, and those of the people sharing it. And as you go, you start to be able to discern the truth for yourself using your own heart intelligence. And as I began to embody and accept and understand my galactic signature, it was like a permission slip to really step into my power, to own it. And it allowed me to let go of some of the things I felt guilty about, because my energy would create some catalysts in wherever I would walk. It would create change. And sometimes I felt bad because, when people are in their ignorance, there's a kind of blissful happiness that can come from ignorance. And often just being in my presence would kind of activate this questioning in people that in turn would start a pretty intense process of awakening. And there were times I would feel bad about that because I would feel, oh my God, who am I to try and get these people out of their comfort? And then I realized that who am I not to? It's my role, it's my job, the energy of my body itself, my vehicle. When I'm walking in this world, I am a blue self-existing storm in the wave spell of the Yellow Warrior. That is my purpose. So whether I like it or not, my energy is going to catalyze stagnant energy. It's going to challenge people to question with their own intelligence. The question is, am I going to live this archetype from the shadow frequency of my own personal ignorance and try and repress it and have it, knocking people about without my awareness, which is much more damaging? Or am I going to honor this process and use this work to witness the gift that is hidden within that storm and learn how to bring myself in alignment and be the highest expression of this catalyst? And as I do so, it becomes more like the eye of a storm. There's a kind of stillness. Eckhart Tolle actually has the same signature, blue self-existing storm. And here's a great example of this storm challenging archetype that has found its center. And so by being able to do this work, it has allowed me to fully, move into acceptance of who I am and what I'm here to do, and not judge myself by the measurements of others in the world around me, but rather measure myself according to my higher frequency. So by the end of this course, you will understand your solar seal your tone, your wave spell, and how to weave it all together, just like I demonstrated with my galactic signature. So I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to work out your galactic signature.